But I've got a sneaky feeling the younger guy, the more malleable guy, the guy where there's a lot of room for improvement, and that improvement I feel actually will come to fruition. I'm going with Daniel Dubois. I'm saying it. I'm going with Daniel Dubois.
Well. I'm just going to say right now, I made a prediction, as you just heard. And as a result of that prediction, I had people in my comment section, and similar people who made a similar kind of prediction in their comment section, saying things like, AJ knocks Dubois out in round 5 or 6. Easy. Dubois hasn't got a chance against AJ. Dubois is going to get knocked spark out. Dumb Dubois has no idea what's coming. Do you know what that sounded like to me? That sounded like to me, I don't like Daniel Dubois. I think that sounded like to me, I feel I'm more intelligent than Dubois. I like AJ more. I think AJ is going to win because of that. It sounds like I know Anthony Joshua. I have no idea who Daniel Dubois is. Like many people in that Wembley arena. That's what it sounded like to me. But before we get to that, let's just go over this brilliant Wembley card. An absolutely amazing Wembley card. It blew the American one out of the water. I'll just say that now. So we started off with Turki Al-Sheikh's favourite fighter, Mark Chamberlain. Got a decision loss against Josh Padley, who almost nobody knew going into the fight. Unlike most people, though, I had heard from quite a few sources that Josh Padley has pretty good fundamentals. I was expecting this to be a challenge for Mark Chamberlain, but I wasn't actually expecting Chamberlain to lose. Chamberlain's performance was, it's not the best, to say the least. It was sluggish, it was slow, he couldn't seem to really pin down Josh Padley, and even when he got his shots off, Padley didn't seem that affected by the power. We obviously saw a knockdown at one point in the fight from Padley to Chamberlain, and that kind of sums up the fight to me. Chamberlain just couldn't pin down Padley. Padley was surprisingly slick, he was fast, he was getting out of the way of a lot of his punches, and don't get me wrong, there were a lot of opportunities for Mark Chamberlain, especially the uppercut. There were so many opportunities where Padley was duck his head down, which would be perfect for a left uppercut. But he just didn't capitalize on him. He couldn't seem to pin Josh Padley down, and all the respect goes to Josh Padley, because if you heard in his post-fight talk, he's just a regular guy. He's a part-time boxer. He has a regular job. It's crazy. So absolutely well done to Josh Padley. All the plaudits go to you. Up next, we had Josh Kelly versus Ishamel Davis. Really good fight. It's kind of what a lot of people expected, really. Josh Kelly was the slicker, faster boxer out of the two. He had far better movement and pretty much dominated for a large part of the fight. As we started getting into the closing stages of the fight, Ishamel Davis did start to take over a bit, especially in the final round. I honestly thought it was terrible when Josh Kelly kept looking up to the clock. He was so desperate to get out of there because he basically had nothing left. So I think Josh Kelly's definitely got to work on his cardio if he's deciding to stick with that style, as he definitely gassed out towards the latter portions of that fight, and as a result, literally couldn't compete. He was just running away, basically. And again, plaudits to Ishamel Davis. He gave him a really, really hard fight. I think we got a better fight than if Liam Smith was there, 100%. And short notice fight, really short notice fight. Well done to Ishamel Davis. I don't think the loss matters in that case. He put on a really good performance. So well done to the pair of them. Up next, we had Anthony Cacace versus Josh Warrington. I'll be honest, I think it was a bit of a boring fight. I think I expected more out of Anthony Cacace, and Josh Warrington was about what I expected. I think Josh Warrington did well in the opening stages, but let's be honest, whenever he connected with Cacace, he just proved to me that he's not meant for that weight. He is not meant for that weight class. It's one step too high. And obviously, by the end of the fight, where Cacace got the result by quite a clear decision, Warrington obviously laid his gloves down in the ring, done, retired. And I think that's perfectly fine. It looked like a sort of final kind of performance from Warrington, and he didn't do bad. He definitely took some rounds in there. But Cacace, obviously the bigger, more dominant fighter throughout it, and as the fight drew on, Cacace just took control completely. Up next, we had Buatsi versus Hutchinson, and again, it played out about as I'd expected. I predicted Buatsi to win, and he very much did that, with a bizarre scorecard at the end, which I will say. Someone gave the fight, I think it was 113-112 to Hutchinson. Have no idea what fight he was watching. That seems like corruption, pure and simple. But again, everybody was hyping up Hutchinson after the Craig Richards win. Did you see how good he looked against Craig Richards? Yeah, did you not look at Craig Richards in that fight? Did you not see how bad Craig Richards was? I've never seen a kind of thing where Craig Richards, literally his only punch throughout that whole, the whole like first 6 rounds was just a jab. He didn't try anything else. So I wasn't convinced by that Craig Richards performance at all. And don't get me wrong, Buatsi in this fight, many times I was looking at him thinking, I don't know what you're doing. I was looking at Buatsi thinking, I genuinely can't figure out your game plan. You're going in here and you're landing some good shots. Hutchinson obviously got knocked down a few times throughout the fight. Buatsi's bodywork specifically was absolutely fantastic. Those are the 2, I think both knockdowns were caused from body punches. But yeah, it was a good fight, don't get me wrong. It was just a bit of a strange performance from Buatsi. Hutchinson was slick starting off. He was moving around the ring well. He was picking Buatsi off from range. But again, it was a similar thing to what we saw in the Craig Richards fight. He got tired. Hutchinson got tired. It's a sort of similar thing to what I saw with Josh Kelly in his fight. If you're going to have that sort of style where you're moving around the ring, picking him off at range, you've got to have the gas tank. Because otherwise you're going to get tired. And if the other guy's got more power than you, which Buatsi definitely proved he did, you're basically fucked. Then we had what I think is the most disappointing fight on the card. Tyler Denny versus Hamzah Sheeraz. In Tyler Denny's last performance against Felix Cash, I was very impressed. I thought the angles this guy's coming from are good. He was catching Felix Cash off guard all the time. He was hitting him. He was very accurate with his punches. But I think ultimately I should have treated it the same way as I treated Hutchinson with Richards. He was in there with a Felix Cash who hadn't fought for a very long time, didn't look up for a fight really, and just got beat to smithereens. Whereas this time, Tyler Denny was in with by far the toughest opponent of his career and got beaten the shit out of, basically, by Hamzah Sheeraz. Now, this is the main one where I feel like a bit of an idiot for my prediction. I thought, I didn't think Denny was going to win. I just thought he was going to give Sheeraz a whole lot more trouble than he actually did. But, obviously, a 2-round blowout. Sheeraz is on an absolute roll. I think the sky's the limit for him. I think the only thing holding him back is his absolute talent, because no one's really going to want to fight him after performances like that and Ammo Williams. But yeah, absolutely amazing from Sheeraz. He proved a lot of people right, and he proved the minority like me dreadfully wrong. I genuinely thought Denny would put in a better performance, but unfortunately not. It wasn't a great fight, really. He just got blew out in 2 rounds. There was no sign that Denny was ever going to make a comeback or that he was ever going to make a dent, really. But well done for Sheeraz. And then, of course, we reached the main event. Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. An easy fight, according to so many internet pundits online. As you heard at the start, in June, I predicted that I think Dubois is going to win. I didn't predict a knockout. I didn't predict that it was going to be easy or hard. I just had a feeling. I had a feeling Dubois was going to win. And I've been inactive on YouTube, so you haven't seen my thoughts and opinions on the run-up to that. But you can trust me or not when I say it, but as the weeks drew on, I only seemed more and more inclined to believe Dubois was going to do it. And that he was going to do it in devastating fashion. So, you know, I don't want to gloat too much. But all those people telling me I was an idiot for saying this. I didn't know what I was talking about. Anthony Joshua was going to get rid of him in 5 rounds. Or 3, some people said. That's not how the fight played out. So, Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua walked out after a performance from Liam Gallagher. I think the performance meant a whole lot more, realistically, than the American card. The whole Oasis thing is very ingrained in British culture because they were so massive. I thought, unlike the previous live performances, which I thought were a bit of a waste of time, I genuinely thought the Liam Gallagher one was pretty fantastic. So hats off to whoever booked him. But onto the fight. We had Daniel Dubois walking out. Didn't look shook at all, which some people were saying was definitely going to happen. Didn't look shook. Looked exactly the same to me as when he walked out in the Usyk fight. I was saying it while he was walking out. I thought he looked the exact same. Didn't look phased at all. He is a fighter. He's going in there to fight. He knows that people are going to be watching, and it doesn't matter. Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, and I promise I'm not just saying this, I'll be completely honest, I'm not just saying this because he lost. Anthony Joshua looked uncomfortable, to me personally. Some people would say he looked focused, and I'm inclined to believe you as well. We just don't know. But to me, Joshua looked phased by the occasion. I think Joshua's got a bit of an ego about him. I think on the run-up to the fight, he was incredibly arrogant. Some people would say that's confidence. I thought it was complete arrogance. I thought he was writing off Dubois. I think mentally, he didn't think Dubois had a chance. Just my opinion. But to me, it looked like the occasion got to Joshua more than Dubois. Even when he was in the ring, they both got in the ring. Dubois was pacing around, getting ready for the fight. Joshua was just staring presumably at Dubois, but maybe even into space. Who knows? So I wasn't liking the vibes from Joshua straight away. But again, maybe I was biased towards Dubois. Fight starts. Dubois, confident straight away, right on the front foot. Starts letting out that iron rod jab that everyone has been saying on the run up to this fight is best punch. It's his best punch. And you're damn right. Dubois absolutely proved that in this fight. I think the jab won him the fight, without a doubt. His jab throughout the whole fight was hitting AJ consistently all the time. And if you notice, if you watch the fight back, every time it hit Joshua, immensely uncomfortable. Joshua, he was not comfortable with that jab at all. That jab must have an insane amount of power on it. Something that Joshua's never felt before. Joshua, every time he got hit by it, and he did keep getting hit by it, he backed off. He didn't want to know anything about it. Now, it's important to say I've just watched this fight, so I'm going to try recollect what's happened. Basically, the first round, Joshua was very tentative. It looked like a similar performance to Ngannou, where he was on the back foot. He was he was looking at Dubois. He was trying to figure him out. Dubois, no. Dubois was basically diving right at him. He was sticking it on Joshua, just like he should have. And he did it in a very smart way. This wasn't a reckless abandon, dive towards Joshua thing, get countered. It was smart. He was using the jab so well. And if you look at the punches AJ was throwing out, he just wasn't connecting. He just kept missing. And that is not on the fault of Joshua, really, in my opinion. Dubois proved in this fight he was parrying the jabs out the way. He was ducking out the way of the right hands. And obviously, as we know at the end of the first round, Joshua gets put on his ass with a heavy shot. We go into the second round. Joshua is now on the back foot. He's clearly panicked at what happened. He's not comfortable with what happened in the first round. And if you looked at his feet, he was clearly not recovered from that first punch. It was a damaging first punch. And in many ways, I think you can say that was the tail of the fight, that first knockdown. Second round, absolute domination from Dubois yet again. Joshua was just not with it in that round at all. He was just basically having a full-on onslaught from Dubois. And during that point, I was thinking, fucking hell, Dubois laying on him here. His gas tank better hold up. And best believe it definitely did. Going into round 3, same story. Joshua's defense looked terrible. I'll be honest, it looked terrible. His hands were down. He didn't know what was going on, really. This is the thing. I think Joshua looked so shabby. I don't think he was ready for Dubois. I don't think he was ready for what the fuck was going to come at him, to be honest. I don't think he was mentally prepared for that. But Dubois, man, was phenomenal. He boxed, I think, his best fight in his whole career. Again. So that goes from Hrgovic, best career performance. Now, Anthony Joshua, the poster boy of heavyweight British boxing, his best performance, by far. Joshua, bear in mind, Joshua was hardly landing. And the shots that he was landing, it wasn't troubling Dubois whatsoever. And obviously, round 3, Joshua goes down again. We've got another knockdown. Round 4, this is where we've got to start to bear in mind, Anthony Joshua did not win a single round in this fight. He didn't win one round. He had some incredibly brief patches of success, but we're talking like one jab, one straight. It was nothing. I mean, Dubois was not troubled whatsoever throughout this fight. He walked AJ down and obliterated him, essentially. So round 4, another Dubois round. AJ still not looking comfortable. Still getting hit with big shots. Still his defense terrible. Landing nothing of significance. Nothing was troubling Dubois at all. And then we get to round 5. The first piece of success Joshua has in this fight. A straight right. The punch that apparently will knock Dubois out cold. He's never experienced this kind of power. He gets hit by the right hand. Guess what he does? He doesn't fall to the ground. He takes it on the chin. He retreats. AJ starts going on the front foot. We start getting flashbacks of Ruiz. And guess what? Dubois got more power than Ruiz. That's all I'm going to say. Dubois got more power than Ruiz. Joshua went on the front foot. He got reckless. He thought he was going to go in for the kill after landing his big right hand, which is massive, but got to understand we're dealing with Daniel Dubois here. We're starting to realize his chin is pretty phenomenal. And when he started opening up, Daniel Dubois caught him. Knocked out. Joshua knocked out the worst he's ever been knocked out in his career. Face first to the canvas. Couldn't get up. Struggling to get up. Now, there was some weird stuff we could question in this fight. The ref, refusing to stop the fight when I think in a few rounds prior he genuinely could have. But, we can write that off. The ref in the first round when Dubois and AJ were clinching. Only calling up Dubois about his head. Interesting. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Dubois put on an absolutely phenomenal performance. No one in that arena expected that. Do you know why? Because it was an arena filled with casuals. You don't have 2 British fighters walk into the ring and one gets a significant amount of boos if it's not about popularity. It was a popularity contest there. And what I'm hoping from this fight is that Dubois, he's earned some popularity now. He didn't deserve to get booed. There's no way he deserved to get booed in that ring. He was in the exact same position as Joshua. The people only liked Joshua because they knew who he was. It wasn't about who was the better fighter. It wasn't about who was the favorite. It wasn't about who was the underdog. They didn't know anything about Dubois. And Dubois went in there and dominated Anthony Joshua for 5 rounds and knocked him out. The worst he's ever been knocked out in his career. Let's get past the whole my prediction thing, which I am quite bitter about because I was made to feel like a fucking idiot on the run up to this fight. I was made to feel like I'm a fucking moron for picking Dubois. And on the run up to the fight, I was only made to feel more stupid by thinking he could do it in violent fashion, like he did. But I think at the end of the day, if we're taking it out of a fighter basis, what we saw was not just a phenomenal card, amazing atmosphere. Turkey Al Sheikh, learn from this. Learn that it's not good enough in Riyadh to have the pin drop during a world heavyweight title fight. It's not good enough. You need the atmosphere. You need the atmosphere for everyone involved. You need the atmosphere there for the fighters. You need the atmosphere for the people in the arena. You need the atmosphere for the people sitting at home. I can't remember a time I've gone so insane for a fight than this. It was an absolutely phenomenal card. Amazing performances throughout it. And I'm so happy for Daniel Dubois. Getting booed in that fashion, I thought it was ridiculous. Dubois proved all the doubters wrong. He proved everyone wrong. If you saw on the DAZN fan zone thing, which I don't give much credence anyway, ever since I saw Ngannou be a 70% favourite against Anthony Joshua, Dubois was given a 17% chance from fans watching on that app. And, it's just the app, some people might say, but that was the fact. Come on, that was how everyone thought. That's how the majority thought. Everybody thought AJ was going to dispatch Dubois. And Dubois, absolutely phenomenal. It all rests on what happens between Fury and Usyk. My prediction for that currently is if Tyson Fury loses, which I mean, it's very, very much a possibility. I don't know if any of you saw Tyson Fury there. He's definitely been putting on the pounds. He lifted up his shirt at one point, looked like fat belly, greedy belly. I think we've got a situation where this is the end. This is the end now. If Joshua won, I think we could have had potentially a third Usyk fight. We could have had a Fury fight, but Joshua's done now. We might see a Wilder fight with Joshua, maybe, or this might be it. I'll be completely honest. I could see every single one of these fighters. I could see Fury, Usyk, and Joshua all retiring. I'll be completely honest. What an era it's been. But sticking on tonight, all credit goes to Dubois for me. He had everyone writing him off, essentially. And I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for him. I was going to say he went through the fight, but he didn't. He didn't even need to go through the storm. There was no storm coming. From the first round, it was Dubois. I mean, it was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Anyway, amazing card, amazing night, and I did tell you so.